All right. Hi, guys. Welcome to Karma on Deck. I'm Karma. This is your Scorpio reading for the week of July 22nd. So let's take a look at the cards and let's do a general spread and a moon reading. Scorpio Moon and a general reading for divination. Intensity. This whole Mercury retrograde season has been a little bit of a shit show. I don't know about you, but it's been deep, deep, not bad, but deep. Hi, Mary Beth. All right. So for those of you on my other social media platforms, please jump on YouTube. You can see the cards picture in picture, and you can see the spread and the dynamics of the card as they relate to one another. Let's take a look and see what we got going on for my Scorpios out there. Hi, Lisa. All right, Eric, this is for you. So 10 of Wands, a little bit of anxiety. The Tower card at the very first card that came out in the spread was the Tower card. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can see that the Tower card's next to the 10 of Wands, and the King of Swords is that element of winning. So it lets us know that whatever had occurred most recently had this huge effect on you. Kind of made you look pretty hard at your foundation. Now, what are your foundations? Your foundations could be your job, your relationship, your home life, finances, things that keep you propelled and moving forward in life. So there may be some things that had occurred a little bit like things are upside down or shaken a little bit. That's what the Tower card is all about. And when you look at the Tower card, usually it lets us know that a crisis is either imminent, occurring, or had just did. So it's like very current energy for you, likely past, because this is an inverted pyramid. I love my pyramids. And this is the basis of where you're going, right? So you have the Tower card and the 10 of Wands. And that tells us there was a little bit of anxiety going on over a situation which you overcame. Because the King of Wands is literally victory. But the definition of this card, I'll never forget when I got this particular deck. The author had written the definition of the King of Swords. And he said, you have won the war, now you must win the peace. And that was profound to me. I think at the time that I was reading this in specific, I think I was teaching a class like 10 years ago. And I wanted to have like different references. And I loved how he said that. I was going through a divorce. I think it was. And yes, I won. Yes, things were going well. Yes, there was good things to come of it. I had an opportunity to build a whole new life. However, I mean, I slept like a baby the day that man left. However, it was a crisis. It's not easy. It's not fun. It can be uncomfortable. Let me know on YouTube if you guys are seeing me. I'm getting a little stream error because you might be buffering. So hopefully that fixes it. All right. So now you've won the war. So let's say you had an abusive ex like I did, and either he leaves or I kick him out. So what happens after that is your victory. Yay, I won. I'm free. I don't have him in my environment anymore. But then is required from you to go find a new place, redesign your psyche after being integrated with someone else. It's so symbiotic, like learning new friends, understanding how the household's energy is now designed without that influence. Like it's all about like the work that has to be done after the victory. Okay. There is the Queen of Wands and the Ace of Coins. And okay, she said there's no buffering, volume sketchy. Copy that. All right, so the Ace of Coins means that there's actually a surplus of money coming your way. So the Queen of Wands means nurturing. So Queen's magnet, King's arrow. So men go get, or in the definition of divine masculine, divine feminine. Let's not just posted something about chess and I got yelled at for it being a white supremacist game. Then I had to do my research. He said, don't ever use a chess reference. It's white supremacist. I'm like, how the hell did it don't play chess with your relationships turn into a racially charged comment? I'll never know. But I looked it up. Chess came from Persia, India, then Persia. So anyways, so you have this victory and you have this stress over it. And it's kind of cleared now based on how this Queen of Wands shows up which is hi Eric. The Queen of Wands is protecting inside, protecting the home, the environment, protecting it rather than going out and getting something else. So because of the way that you manage, because Wands is work, labor. So because of the way you managed this information and this victory, things are settling, and you do have the Ace of Coins. Victory doesn't necessarily mean money, but in this case, there's a side note for you to pay attention that money's coming. You have the Judgment card, which is tension and stress. You have the Death card, which is change. I love the Death cards, don't trip. Usually it means a baptism. Now, here's what's interesting. Having done the Libra reading right before the Scorpio, usually the 1 and the 2, based on when I'm doing the reading, because if I do 2 readings in a row on the same day, usually it's the aspects of the moon that are affecting that energy as well. Also, there's cusp energy. So Scorpio and Libra will be similar in some ways, but it'll be a different look. So what I see similar between you and the Libra reading was we have the Death card. So I was talking about the Death card with Libra, and it's about baptism. So when you go into the dark night of the soul, when you go into the stress and the anxiety and you come from a place of solution, it's a baptism. It's a renewal. It's doing things better, doing things differently. So it doesn't always have to be death, dying, losing a job suddenly, wrecking your car, not having any more resources or wheels. It's a switch. So what I see switching for you is the Death card to the 10 of Cups, which is balance. However, there's always a however for you right now, Scorpio. Intensity, right? Can't do anything in a small way. However, I see 10 of Cups, which is balance. The thing that's frustrating you the most is delay. You have the 2 of Wands, which is being in the middle. You don't like being in the middle. So if you remember, or you were watching the Libra reading, they have the 2 of Swords. So there's your duality and the dichotomy of 2 sides. However, Libra is literally stuck and can't make a decision. You have the 2 of Wands, which is taking in data from both sides and feeling frustrated in the middle. So in the frustration, 10 of Wands, anxiety, Judgment, which is pressure, and change. So you as well are resisting change, but in a little bit of a different way. So they're kind of stuck, right? They're stuck in analysis paralysis, deer in the headlights. Scorpio has the 2 of Wands, and that is us sitting here taking in information from both sides before we make a decision, so we make a good one. It's a little bit of a different energy, same story, different energy. So just like COVID, everybody's bitching about COVID this and COVID that. We're all in the same storm, but not the same boat. So you are very carefully pulling information so you don't repeat some of these things. And as you're bringing clarity to the situation by gathering this data, this isn't a whole lot of data because it's not the hermit like they were doing, overloaded data. The 2 of Wands is looking objectively at 2 sides. So if you look at him sometimes, so here's the thing, cards aren't negative in of themselves. They are like a word in a sentence. You can say the F word 1,000 ways, good and bad. Okay, for those of you that first, you can use it in almost any sentence. So these cards are very relative to their surroundings. So if you look at this card, and that's why I encourage you to look at the YouTube, because you have the Death card, the 10 of Cups, and the 2 of Wands. So left and right is balance, and dead center is the 10 of Cups, which is balance. So if you look at this cup, it's balance. This is internal and external balance reflecting outside of you. And that's what you're looking to do. You're looking to change things in such a way that balance returns, and using this wisdom in understanding the information that's coming your way and what's best for you. I also see the High Priestess, which I love. So if you notice your major cards, so there's always good and there's always bad. A lot of times we will have an abundance of crazy chaotic energy, and then other times we will have a balance or a little bit of really positive. And it always shifts and fluctuates, okay? But your reading is very balanced, okay? Unlike Libra, who was a little bit like overwhelmed. You have the Tower card. You have the King of Swords. I'm going to count that one because that's victory. We have the Ace of Pentacles, which is victory and an abundance of money coming your way. We have the Death card, which is change. We also have cards that indicate balance. However, there are 2 that you need to pay attention to. We have the Nine of Cups, which is celebration. You have the Ace of Coins. So an abundance of money coming your way. It might be a surplus, it might be a payment, etc. So looks like I'm in. Maybe have to post this video on my hopefully I'm not losing my stream. Okay, so the High Priestess is intuition. There is a lot of things going on that some of us in my little community, in the spiritual community, we talk about ascension. And that's where you start to become aware suddenly that the path you take isn't just eating hand to mouth, that there's a greater purpose for you. And there is this awakening of intuition, a connectedness and a connectivity between us and others that comes upon suddenly. So all of a sudden you're hyper aware of energy and moods and feeling like you're going to cry and suddenly feeling like you're angry. I was saying recently that people don't know if they want to feed, fight, or nap. Like people don't know whether they want to do one thing over another because they're getting this abundance of emotion. And it's new. So like, especially men who don't navigate the same as women, not as well. I wasn't going to say that, but men navigate emotions a little different. We are accustomed as women to having our emotions thrown into a blender and just mix up very early because it's very chemical to us. And occasionally men can get overwhelmed, especially if this is new to them. And what do I do with this? So I am seeing the Hangman, which tells us there's some delays in some of the plans that you have. And then you have the King of Cups, which is those emotions I was talking about, navigating them very well. And you are recognizing that EQ is all about emotional IQ, being able to process your emotions and articulate what you have going on in your head so that you don't have misunderstandings regarding what you're thinking and feeling. Every decision we make is an emotional choice. Every decision, whether we spend too much money on a weekend, it's an emotional decision. We needed that moment. It was worth it. We cracked our bank account in the morning, but it's all emotional decisions. Everything we do is an emotional. Quitting that job is an emotional decision, not wanting to let people down. But we have the intuition, the High Priestess, and that's all about secret knowledge. So there might be some information that's coming your way that you can't really put your finger on. And so you're vetting it. Maybe you're asking for opinion or you're talking to other individuals to get objectivity. YouTube, are you hearing me at all? It's saying I have no video, no data. All right, so I do see the 10 of Cups, which is balance. Let's just talk about this really quick as a whole. So even though there was the Tower card and the 10 of Wands, that is telling us that there was anxiety, a little stress, things felt like you were going to lose it. But you had victory, you overcame. Then we have the 9 of Cups, a little bit of pressure, some movement on these decisions you were making. And I'm also seeing like this balance that I keep talking about, 10 of Cups and 2. So pay attention to your intuition. That's the advice that I would give you. I would also say that don't worry about delays, that things are going to work out for you, because we're going to look at that Ace of Coins. We're going to focus on that because that's a big piece of energy within all of this. So it's all small potatoes. However, even though some of these decisions are small potatoes, it's like hyper intense out there. And I think that Judgment card, it's a 3-headed dragon with an anvil. What do you do with an anvil is you hit the steel and you fold it and fold it and fold it to make it strong. So we have an anvil and pressure, and that's how diamonds are created. That's how we karma steel. That's how steel is made in the refiner's fire over and over and over again so you can get that handled. Let's take a look at your Scorpio Moon. A little bit of housekeeping. Karma on Deck website if you want to book your reading, your Tarot 101 class. Sorry, I'm a little distracted trying to get this. I apologize. I'm losing everybody over here. Okay, so For those of you on YouTube, I'm back. I had to reboot it a little bit. So, all right. So this is your, sorry, now I'm a little disconjointed. So this is your Scorpio moon reading. And this is how your moods are. I used to do a reading that is based on your, hold on a second. I'm going to open this. I used to call this your relationship reading. And the reason why I did that was because so many people had relationship questions. And the problem therein was I can't unpack everybody's relationship because there's moon, rising, sun, conjuncts, squares, aspects, and personalities that mix too much. It isn't accurate for everybody. So this is a little bit more guidance, right? A little bit more guidance on your moon, your moods. All right. Sorry I had to do all that. I appreciate your patience. So first thing that comes up is the Magician. Interesting, that came up for my keep saying excellent connection in the night. Okay. So you have the Magician card. That came up for Libra. So you don't have any congruencies between your moon and your Scorpio sun. So for those of you that are a Scorpio moon, what I'm seeing for you is, again, that isolation a little bit came up. Four of Swords. It feels to me as if you don't want to talk to anybody about your personal business. You don't really want to get any audience to what's going on with you, spending an enormous time on either Netflix, TV, or social media because we have the Three of Pentacles. You might be snooping a little bit, paying attention to other people's business, distracting yourself, or getting involved in questions, commentary, discussions regarding like politics or whatever. And this is just a habit. I am seeing the Eight of Pentacles, and that is our repetition, doing things over and over again to get them right, making sure we are exact in the things that we expect, etc. If you guys on YouTube or on my social media, I'm going to repost this video so you can watch it in its entirety on YouTube as a whole instead of the live, because the live's being busted. So what I see for you, Scorpio, is the Fool card. I always get the hiccups. I'm about to start as soon as I start channeling. So I have the King of Pentacles. That also means money. And I have the King of Cups. Love and money is the same energy in a lot of ways because it has to do with abundance. Love is receiving, money is receiving. Okay? Work, swords, so wands and swords is outward. So we have the King of Cups, the King of Pentacles. Money, love and money is the same energy. Now, it's not exactly about whether that's coming to you. These are about mastery because kings are about mastery and getting things right. You have the Magician card. The Magician card is about being good at what you do. Being good with your voice usually means communication. So how you're communicating about your money, how you're communicating about your moods and emotions. I do see that Scorpio has been a little bit frustrated, quite close to possibly maybe a little bit of depression. And I'm saying that because this card right here, the Five of Pentacles, is somebody walking in front of a church and not going inside because they lack faith that it's going to support them in the way that they desire. They lack faith that there are answers there. They lack faith that the energy that they give to that dynamic isn't going to serve them. So they stopped going in. Now, the problem with lacking faith is that means we lack trust. And that is causing you to withdraw. And that's how we see the Four of Swords. So this is my Snow White card. Snow White goes out. She has to have a perfect environment in order for her to come out. So she has to have the perfect kiss at the right time, at the right man. And so this card right here, the Four of Swords, is her in a chapel and she's sleeping and she's out. And so as she's doing this, she's not communicating. She's not talking. She's not being involved. So she's staying withdrawn and inside. Now, that's not like the Hermit card where it's for the benefit. This one's actually kind of a little bit of, I don't like using the word negative. I will say that it is not good for us to isolate and hide out too long. It's absolutely beneficial when we use it as a tool to extricate ourselves from a situation, to get some quiet time, to actually be recuperate and recalibrate. Holly and I call it recalibrating. I am the Two of Cups, which is love and balance. Again, balance is all about it for you right now, Scorpio. It also may indicate some new relationship energy for some of you, or the relationships that are in your life coming into alignment so they're a little more balanced and less of that antagonistic energy. Now, within the Scorpio reading here, there is some really good cards. You have the Nine of Pentacles, which is celebration. You have the World card, possibly referring travel. We have the Justice card, though, but it's not showing itself up in a way that is super negative. But I do see that you're worried and you're fearful of something that might be pertaining to something legal. This could be something simple like mediation or signing contracts. The way it's showing up looks like it's in balance. But if you look, Two of Cups and the Justice card have pillars within them that remind us that balance. So this doesn't always have to be negative, and it's right next to the Two of Cups. Only thing that I would say, overlaying all of these cards for you, is the Moon card, and that did show up for Libra, and that's fear. I think it even showed up in the exact same place. I shuffle the shit out of them, but it still shows up congruently between one reading and the next, being a general on them. So the Moon card is about fear. So there's some things that you have to take on that are necessary for you, that it's necessary for you to go out and do, and you're worried. And there's a lot to be worried about right now. Just don't get stuck there. Okay? There is a lot of worry that's going on. Just keep doing what it is you're doing on course. Get that advice. A perspective would be good for you right now. I feel like it's the thing that you're looking for most is to avoid the isolation and lacking in faith and lacking in trust and asking for that advice. All about trust for Scorpio. Fear. Overcome the fear. Best way to do that is surrender. Hardest thing on the planet, surrender, especially when you're a Capricorn sun like myself. I'm going to probably come back to do a couple more videos because I am jamming right now. I'm going to try and fix the internet problem for those of you on. All right. So, couple housekeeping details. I know I did this for Libra, but I don't know who's watching what. So, karmaondeck.com to get your one-on-one reading for your relationships, your career, spiritual path. There's also on there some classes, Tarot 101, some of my podcasts that are going to be going on regarding dating. Welcome to the jungle. And there is also an astrology class that's coming up soon. I'm putting all that together. I'm bringing in guests. I'm not doing the astrology class to teach it only from my standpoint. I am a novice at this, and I've been studying for 1.5 years. What I want to do is give you some study tools and some information from some astrologers that I know, where I'm gathering information from. Hopefully I'll be having these guests with me so you can learn how to follow along. It has been a struggle for me, and it's so much information. There's astronomy, literally where the stars are placed. There's diagrams. So for each diagram, there's a key, which is all the symbols of all the signs and all the symbols of the planets. And there's all these pie shapes and degrees and numbers. So it's hieroglyphics, mathematics, trigonometry, Latin, religion, because each one of these planets has a personality and a god attributed to it. So what I want to do is give you some step-by-step so you can learn. And that's the goal for that. So Tarot 101 starts tomorrow. Jump on there. If you don't have the money right away, let's talk. I want to see you get the skill set that you want to play with and some intuitive teaching with it. So jump on there with me. So your final card from Divination of the Ancients is the Ogam, and that's nature. If I'm mispronouncing it, someone tell me. That big a deal for me, but I'm a grammar Nazi myself. So nature, what this is telling us, recalibrate, get yourself out in nature, find yourself something where you can recalibrate. And if you can't do that, it can also reference meditation. So you can come on my PayPal, Karma on Deck. She's saying she wants to send me some money. I'll take it. So the nature card, I think I devalue how important nature can be because I work from home, and getting outside can really remind us of the beauty and get us involved in spirit in that silence. So the nature card, the Ogam, is telling us for Scorpio to get in nature. Let's take a look and see what it tells us through the book. Ooh. So here's the cool thing about this card is it's saying, granny glasses, guys, shut up. So it's saying the mystery of the old ways beckons. Tap into the ancient wisdom of the ancestors and connect with the magic of nature. I know a lot of people that have been awakened lately and starting to tune into their intuition. The first step comes when they start seeing their ancestors and their indigenous, genetic, quite possibly not genetic, because I saw Egypt. My first ancestors that came forward were not the tribal people of Ireland. It was Egypt, 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 Egypt. So I started to learn about Egypt, but it doesn't necessarily mean the exact culture. Just pay attention to what the wisdom of the ages and DNA has to teach you. So it's saying tap into the ancient wisdom of the ancestors and connect with the magic of nature. If you remember, a lot of our old practitioners, ancient practitioners, used nature in all its different elements. Embrace the delicious warmth of the sun, breathe in the purity of the air, feel the earth under your feet, and cleanse yourself in streams and rivers. Remember, you are part of the natural world. Through your lifetimes, you have accumulated great knowledge. Now seek the wise teaching of the trees. Here's what's cool. Once you begin to meditate, you start to recognize that you can tap into those Akashic records and unlock DNA so you can access those programs, those files, that information within you. I keep telling you guys, meditation is the jam. Better than any internet, promise you, and it's more accurate. I started watching Initiation, Origins of the Universe, and cried through the first 12 episodes because it's literally imagery from things I've seen in my visions defined. I recommend anybody get on there immediately. So remember, you're a part of the natural world, and we forget that within our industry and within our scientific, like we don't even get grounded within our homes. The first thing that happens when we come in, even if we take off our shoes, is we're standing on concrete and we're standing on wiring and plumbing, and all of those different energies flowing in different directions keeps us untapped to source, to nature. So there's this interconnectedness within nature that we miss out on sometimes living in cities and in concrete, electronics, wavelengths, microwaves, etc. So embrace the delicious warmth of the sun, breathe in the purity of the air, feel the earth under your feet, and cleanse yourself in streams and rivers. Remember, you are part of the natural world, and through your lifetimes, you have accumulated great knowledge. Now seek the wise teachings of the trees. They are the wisdom keepers who have stood by silently, witnessing every detail of passing centuries. Spend time outside with these gentle giants. They hold the keys to your past. Allow them to unlock the remembrance you hold deep within. We're ready to unleash. Think of circles within the tree. Incantation for the week. My hand doth run across the bark of tall trees standing tall and stark. Memories of old, now rebirthed, ancient signs, answers unearthed. So what are your connections? Ooh, in one of the initiation series, I was listening to him talk about the ice giants and DNA codes and water. Man, that's what I've been losing myself in. So anyways, take yourself out of the game. 5 minutes. Get some information from a trusted colleague, coach, get some coaching, have somebody give you a skill set to make strong decisions, and just know that you can't make a bad decision. Like, all of these things are for us to learn. You are going to learn whatever you're supposed to. That sounds counterintuitive. I love you guys. Remember, love is the answer to everything. Say love on it, because you got to go within, love on you, become a whole being. Thank you for hanging out with me, guys. I will catch you on the flip side.